Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we are discussing a model launched in 2022, and as of today, in April of 2025, no longer cataloged, so a moment in time at Bremont of England. This is a watch that has been requested time and time again by our viewers, so we are going to look at this rather rare Bremont Supernova with midnight blue dial. Now, there are three different dial colors: white, black, and this midnight blue, and they have different dial layouts. For example, the other ones have Arabic numerals, so they're all a little bit different. The watch is 40 millimeters in diameter in steel. It's 11.4 millimeters thick. And then if we're going to measure from edge to edge, we are measuring outer link to outer link, the rigid distance across the wrist, 52.3 millimeters. So this is a fairly big watch in terms of how it wears. It is not super thick, and I think that's really its saving grace. Every non-round watch with a form case wears a bit larger than its rated size, so though this is a 40, I encourage you to think of it as more of a 42. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you can see that to good effect. It is flat, though. It will slide underneath the cuff, making it thinner than most Bremont watches. So getting a good look right there. Now, this is a steel watch with a steel bracelet. Bremont claimed to have put 3 years into the development of the bracelet. I don't know if I believe that, but I will say this. In the hand, the weight and solidity and lack of lateral play is, in each case, quite pronounced. This feels like a premium product. In fact, I could say this feels more expensive than a lot of integrated bracelets on watches that cost multiples of this, sometimes even an order of magnitude more than this. Taking a look in profile, you can see every link is removable by screw, which I like because it gives you a great deal of adjustability. And then taking a look at the clasp itself, this is the most stock piece of the whole watch. You can see this is clearly a purchased part, but it's a good one. It's a sequential close with the Bremont propeller with media blast and polish, twin trigger release, a really good looking watch in every regard. Note the presence of an intermediate size link that allows you to fine-tune the fit if you do find yourself in between link sizes when sizing this down. We have a triptych mid-case, so a little bit of a nod to the way Bremont watches were traditionally made. Of course, there's been a reboot at the brand recently. This is one for the old guard right here. DLC mid-case that separates the form of the lugs from the canister used to hold the movement and the dial. We have a screw-down crown with the Bremont propeller. Of course, you could see a screw-down crown here endowing the watch with great water resistance. Turning it all over, you can see it is 100 meters water resistant. You can just barely see these red elastomers on the outside edge of the movement. This is a highly shock resistant watch with these rubber shock absorbers between the movement and the edge of the case to make it tougher. It is a chronometer, and it is quite stout in that regard, being tested to COSC, but according to Bremont, they all came out of the factory a little bit better than COSC. So the dial sits inboard of a bezel that's not exactly round, and I think this might be the most intriguing part of the watch. Every non-round watch has to find some way to reconcile a round dial and crystal, in many cases, with a non-round case, and so you can see this cushion-like profile, which includes both satin and polish. It's nicely done, and it does make for a seamless transition to the dial, which features a concentric track under applique rhodium-plated hour indices. We've got a power reserve indicator, EF, fuel style, because remember, Bremont was all about aviation. Broadsword-style hands. This is actually a double-digit grande date, the double digit that changes digit by digit. You can see there's no shortage of luminescence. Now we're going to demonstrate some of these subsidiary features, including hacking seconds and the quick set for the date. Like I said, it is a double-digit date, and Bremont did this right. The discs are the same color as the dial. Power reserve indicator, 65-hour automatic wind power reserve. Turn it all over. You can see it says ENG 300, but this variant is the ENG 375. So this is part of a collaboration between Bremont, which makes and regulates the parts in London. This is a British-made watch, but this movement was designed outside of BN by a movement partner hired by Bremont. I'm all about transparency and explaining where things come from. THE Plus created a movement called the K1, and this is a derivative of the K1. It's got a free-sprung variable inertia balance for fine-tuning. It beats away at a quirky 25,200 vibrations per hour, and though you can't see it, it features an unlubricated, high-efficiency, anti-magnetic light lightweight, full silicone escapement. You can see different tones, textures, colors, and finishes. It's quite attractive. It is made in England. It's not made by the Swiss partner, though it was designed by them. Bremont makes its changes and does the assembly and the regulation itself. It's a single barrel, and again, a 65-hour power reserve. It's got KIF shock protection, often regarded as a somewhat upscale alternative to the likes of Inca Block. So there is a lot to like here. An accurate movement, a watch made in England, a timepiece that performs to chronometer standards, an unusual and now, I suppose, rare design, as we will not be seeing any more of these as they're no longer stocked. A very cool watch if you're into all British, if you love British TV, if you love the British invasion, if you love British cars like me, this is one for the old guard at Bremont. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.